What it do, peeps? It's the Beat Chef. We'll watch the damn tape. Hit that like, that share, that subscribe button. Hit that bell to get notified when I drop my next video. To my new subscribers, I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the show and I hope you love WNBA content. To my day ones, thank you for helping me build this platform and continue this WNBA conversation. What it do, folks? Next, I want to get into Natasha Cloud. Natasha Cloud was on the Sue Bird podcast. They were speaking at Tech Futures, which is a conference, a 3-day event. And Sue Bird had a platform there. And she brought on Natasha Cloud. She also had on Naneka. I'm going to get into Naneka in the third part of this. But right now, this is Natasha. Natasha spoke around the 30-minute mark of this video. I'll leave a link, as always, in the description on this one. Natasha touched on a couple of topics. One, valid. First off, refereeing. We all know the referee's atrocious. She made mention of the refereeing and Natasha Collier, and saying that was something to do with them not going on further, and then also in their series against Phoenix. So she laid on the referee card. Practice facilities was another thing she talked about. And she said that, it's a big major sticking point when you're in free agency. And she alluded to going to Connecticut, or getting traded to Connecticut. And then Megan Rapinoe was like, hey, I'm glad you're here in New York and not in that other spot. And she didn't mention the name. Megan Rapinoe was real smart to not mention the name, but she was speaking about Connecticut because every team's not the same when it comes to practice facilities. For example, the Chicago Sky basically do their practices at a YMCA. So take, for instance, if there is a senior citizen night or event at the YMCA and they have it booked, they got to go find somewhere else to go play and practice. They can't, the seniors take precedence over WNBA players. So I agree with Natasha on this. They do need to make an investment in practice facilities, but on the flip side of that, a lot of the teams, if you know, they're controlled by NBA markets. So they get to practice where the men practice, the same facility, and it bodes well for them. But they're getting their own practice facilities, just like Indiana just got their own practice facility for the women, which is a good thing. And I do agree with her on that. I think they should have practice facilities and make an investment in the players. She also mentioned chefs, training staff, and support staff. They definitely need better trainers. We saw what happened with T.U.S.S.L.E. There's been a lot of doctors online speaking about the inaccuracies of those training staff and how they did not support her neck when they got her off the ground. Chefs, that's actually in their contract about the nutrition. The Dallas Wings, for example, they have chefs that are there for the players to cook whatever nutritious meal for the players. But like I said, it depends on the team. But they should fight for that, and they probably will get that in their bargaining. Support staff, stuff outside of basketball life, therapists, etc. Yeah, that's important. I'm pretty sure they'll get that. She said the league is asking for an 8-year deal, which is standard. The thing that I wanted you to hear from this piece was basically when she started referring. She said she supported Natasha Collier. You got to understand, she's an unrivaled employee. Megan Rapinoe is also an investor in Unrivaled. So you got that piece. Keep in mind, if you didn't know, Sue Bird is an investor in the Seattle Storm. So she's part of an ownership group in the Seattle Storm, which is kind of surprising that she's even talking about collective bargaining with these players. But I want you to listen to what Natasha Cloud had to say when it came to, she said that she said it wasn't personal, it was just business. She reiterated that same thing, but I want you to take a listen to when she talked about the money.
The W is not what it is if it's not for the players, if it's not for the OGs that came before us that we're standing on the shoulders of, and that the next generation of women will come in and do the same thing. But we have proven time and time again that this product is a product that is booming. Business is booming. We would not continue to add teams to a league if it wasn't booming. And I think like just being honest and truthful is what we need. The transparency, the truthfulness between the two. Y'all don't even know all the teams that are being brought into for 200 and what is it, 250 mil? We don't even see a dime of it. Players do not see a dime of any of that money. So it's not enough to only give us revenue share from the league standpoint. We're asking for revenue share from the team standpoint too. Understanding with, I think they're asking us 8 years on the CBA. In 2 years, that whatever little chunk of money that you're trying to dangle in front of our faces, don't insult our intelligence. We know in 2 years that is going to double in price. And so we're just here for our value and for our worth.
So she basically said the little money that they're dangling in front of us in 2 years will be doubled. So basically, folks, I'm glad Natasha Cloud actually said something because Naneka hadn't said nothing up to this point. I'm glad they're like I said, when they get these microphones in front of them, they're gonna start talking and they're gonna start letting you know. Basically, whatever that quadruple deal was, that is bird feed to them. That is bird feed. They basically want, she said, double. So if the low end was, if the supermax was $1 million, they want $2-3 million. They want that to be today's price. They want tomorrow's estimation to get put in their hands right here. And she goes on after this and she starts talking about her age and how many years she's got. I've said numerous times, a lot of the players in the WNBA are older. They're trying to cash in on big banks while the stock in the league is quote going up. They want their checks. They want their checks. She also spoke about a little bit about retirement, pension, so on and so forth. But that was interesting when she said that little chunk of money. One of the most disrespectful things I've ever heard a person say, that $1 million is beneath you. And she's in New York, where there's a lot of federal employees at this current time not getting paid. And she has the nerve to say that. She doesn't know the temperature in the room. Also, when you watch these videos, I'm going to leave a link, like I said, to the full video. Notice there's not much applause when she makes certain statements. She thinks she's standing on something and doing the rah rah thing and rallying the troops, rallying the public, and she's doing the opposite. She's actually pissing people off. But like I said, she operates in a activist bubble, activist vacuum, as many of the league do, and they're tone deaf. But I thought this piece with Natasha was interesting. This part two. On the part three, the Neka Umawai.